I was born on the Lower East Side in May 1914. And I was reborn, not like that, in May 2020, just after the pandemic started. Okay, I think that's good. Okay, so what the heck am I talking about, right? Okay, so I'll tell you. So, my granddaughter, Rebecca, excuse me, I have Alzheimer's, so it's me, it's not you. Just stick with me. Well, maybe it's you too. Anyway, my granddaughter, Rebecca, she was, I have some notes here just in case I get a little lost here. My granddaughter, Rebecca, she's an artist. Some of you might know her. She's lovely, she's tall. It's a little too tall. What are you gonna do? Anyway, she was in the desert. No, it was a pandemic. And she was in Brooklyn. And her roommates, Sarah and Abraham, they went to live happily ever after in the countryside, or the Berkshires or something, I don't know, I don't really remember. Anyway, they said goodbye and good luck, and I hope you don't die. And so Rebecca was alone, and she's hungry, and she's thirsty, and she's a little concerned that the world is ending. And so what does she do? She makes soup. Yes, I taught her well. Not my recipe, though. What are you gonna do? Anyway, it was good enough. It was a little too good, because she's eating, and she's eating, and she's eating, and she's eating until the whole pot is empty. And now she's sick. She's sick because she's stuffed and uncomfortable, and she's still lonely, and she still don't know what's going on. And then finally, she picks up her phone to call Instagram, or whatever it is you do with Instagram. And so she's scrolling and she's scrolling and she's searching until finally she opens up the camera and she sees a golden mirage in the desert. Well, actually, it's an orange filter. You know the filters they go on your face, and this one's a fruit, so it's sort of like a fruit face. I don't know, it's not that important, except that she's seeing herself, and she's not seeing herself, except her eyes and her lips. And she feels this thing bubbling up inside of her. And she opens up her mouth as if to speak. And I come out. And I say, breathing in, I see myself as a mountain. Breathing out, I feel solid. Breathing in, I see myself as water. Breathing out, I reflect things as they are. Breathing in, I see myself as space. Breathing out, I feel free. Okay, that's not me. That's a Thich Nhat Hanh quote. I did more of a comedy routine about soup and matzah, another food that keeps very well in a pandemic, but I think this is really the sentiment underneath. So, anyway, it was a big hit. People laughed, and they felt comforted, and my granddaughter discovered this source, which she didn't know was there the whole time. So, during the pandemic, other people had a similar impulse. Okay, some Jews in particular, they were looking for protection and comfort, and I'm sure some of them also went to soup, but some of them reached out to their rabbis, like the good one here behind me. There he is. And an amulet emerged. sort of seal of protection, which had my name on it. The name of the great mother, pre-patriarchy, the grandmother of the tribe. I'm serious here. You know Abraham? Yeah? Well, I'm his mother. Okay, Abraham, the father of the tribe, I'm his mother, Amichai. That's me. That's my name. How many of you heard of me? No one. You? Very good. Extra credit. Gold star. So, Amichai, or Talai, we don't really know. In fact, we don't really know much of anything about me, as I've been written out, or buried, or hidden from view, and my dementia doesn't help. But I think it makes me more dimensional. See what I did there? Okay. So we got to figure this out. You know, who am I? And there's been some people that they're searching for me, and they're trying to find my frequency. And so here we are today. So very good. Very good for you. And today's a big day. It's the first day of the new year. And every year, you go back and you tell the family story, which how are you going to tell the story without the grandmother? I mean, who do you think knows all the secrets? So this is one of them. And this is a spoiler alert. So if you don't like those, just la la la. I am source. And this may not be much of a surprise to many of you, but I am the original source. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you thought that Abraham birthed himself. I don't know. It's very funny. I can assure you he did not. So I am source, and source is sort of like a combination of all of our grandmothers in one. I know that sounds like a lot, but we have a lot to do here. So we have many faces. We speak in every language. We come from every culture. There's nowhere where we are not. We are the composite of your grandmother and yours and yours and yours and yours and yours and yours, which accounts for not all of us knowing our grandmothers and for not all of our mothers being so great. Some were not so great. You know what? And it's fine, because it all comes out in the wash, as they say. We are the grand source which sees very far, the furthest, in fact, which gives life, sustains life, directs, redirects, protects, heals, and not just nourishing, okay? Powerful. Sometimes a little scary. Maybe even a little smelly. In my case, it's fruitcake and mothballs. So we're old and we know how to be with things, good and bad. I mean, what's the point of having ancestral wisdom if nobody uses it? Rebecca didn't know it was there, and she sort of stumbled into it, and she's very forgetful, okay? And I don't know about the rest of you, but my big question for you crying too, is how come you don't call me more? How come you don't call me anymore? Yeah. Oh. Thank you. Welcome. Welcome to Storahtelling. I am Rebecca Samanga Frank. And thank you. That was my grandma Betty. You will see more of both of us today. This is my collaborator, Austin Purnell. And all of us, the composite of us, are your Mavens today. So we are calling all grandmothers. We are calling on the great mother. We are calling in the ancestors in our storytelling today. As we dive into the story of Hagar and into the mystery, the very real mystery, that's all real, of our great grandmother, Amichai.
Welcome, Rebecca.
Thank you.
Hi, Austin. Welcome to Storahtelling, y'all. You know the spiel, Storahtelling, where the Torah meets our story, where the ancient page meets today's stage. We're here today, as we are on every New Year's Day, to retell the ancient stories of our people. What was the question you asked? If we don't access the ancestral wisdom, what is it there for? So the Storahtelling you're about to see is a brand new take on an old classic. For the last 2,500 years, people from the Jewish tribe have been gathered on this holy day and others to chant from our holy scroll our family stories, often dysfunctional, in Hebrew. And to make sure we understand them and help the healing, we've been translating them, interpreting them with Mavens who make it come alive into the language of the day. So many of you have been with us before. You've seen Storahtelling. You've been Storahtelling. And today, Grandma Betty and Rebecca, more grandmas, Austin, and more characters are going to show up to retell one of the stories of this new year. We're going to have 2 aliyot, 2 acts. Naomi's going to chant the Hebrew. We're all going to be telling the story together. We're going to be focusing on Abraham and his wife Sarah, his other wife Hagar, Isaac and Ishmael. But actually, we're really going to be zooming in on Hagar and Ishmael and the great-grandmother. Sounds intriguing? Good. I'm pretty intrigued. Rebecca, we can't wait.
So thank you. We're thrilled. And because we don't have any stories of Amichai yet, I am interested in what we can learn about her through the story of another great mother, of Hagar. And Hagar's story invites pain and oppression and laughter and fear and separation and dislocation and heat and thirst and magic and mothers and sight. And I'm interested in who she reached out to when she was in need of protection and wisdom and comfort. So I want us to take our Amichai amulet with us into her story and see for how can we access the wisdom of our ancestors if we don't call upon it. And I'm really curious, where does that ancestral wisdom live inside of us and outside of us? So let's begin.
So this sacred story will become our scriptural script today, this beautiful theater, Mount Sinai, all of us, the children of Israel, once again ready for a dose of revelation. Ready? Ready? Woo! We're going to invite a multi-generational family to join us here on stage. 3 generations. Please come on up. Jeff and Audrey, Michael, Jenny, all of you guys to open the Torah again. Welcome back. Modeling good parenting and grandparenting and great-grandparenting. Hi, guys. Shana Tova. This Torah we're holding is quite old, and it's been with us at many holy days and many mitzvahs, and it's got a lot of generational wisdom, ancestral wisdom we're going to tap into today. Thank you for helping us open the ark, open our hearts, get this yad out of my face. We're going to not pass the Torah all over, so I'm going to ask you all to send a kiss its way. She sends it back. Thank you, family, to join us on this Bima Shana Tova. May we open many hearts and arcs together for many years. Nai, 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 nai. Ya nai, 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 nai. Ya nai, nai, ya nai, nai. Ya nai, nai, ya nai, nai, ya nai, nai.
Tiftach libi behoraita, tiftach libi behoraita, tiftach, 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 tiftach libi.
Okay, we are ready for Act 1 of 2. And as we already heard, we're going to focus on Hagar today. Hagar is the mother of Ishmael, the firstborn of Abraham. Hagar means the other, the stranger. That is what her name means. She's also a princess and a matriarch and the mother of a nation. But what does it mean? What does it feel like to be an other? To be called the other? To be considered other? Have any of you felt othered this past year in any way? Walked into a room and felt like, I don't feel like I'm wanted here. Hurt or slurred in any way. I'm not even asking how we've done it to each other. But we begin this year by letting go of what we do not need. There is ancestral wisdom to help us heal. So for this first Aliyah, at home watching us and being with us and here, if you felt this past year like you in any way were othered and you want to honor that moment and let it go, this Aliyah is for you. I'm going to ask you to rise in your seats for the blessing and then sit back down. And if any of you really feel like, whoa, I need a piece of healing for being othered this year, you know who you are. We're waiting for you up here to say the blessing in the scroll. So if you're really feeling called up, the stairs are right there. At home, please rise. If you're feeling the blessing calling on you, please rise. First Aliyah. Let's go. Come on up. Anybody feeling it? Did I scare you? It's vulnerable to admit. Many of you have been out, many of us have felt othered this year. Anybody coming up? Wow, Chuck. Okay, and Hannah. And a new friend. If you just raised your hand when I said, were you othered? That was you. There's nothing to be ashamed about. We're healing. Honey, we see you from over here. And we're sending you love. Yeah, nai, 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 nai. Yeah, nai, nai, yeah, nai, nai, yeah, nai, nai, looking good, nai, 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 yeah, nai, nai. All right, we've got some brave souls on stage on the bima, ready for our first Aliyah. There are cheat sheets here with the blessing, and they're on the screen in front of all of us, right here and at home. Naomi's going to show us the spot in the scroll where our story begins. You all got one? We are here. Where are we?
We're right.
Okay, hit click, double click. Play, go. Blessing, friends.
Havaya Hamvorach.
ברוך הוויה המבורך לעולם ועד. ברוך הוויה המבורך לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה הוויה אלוהינו רוח העולם אשר בחר בנו עם כל העמים ונתן לנו את תורתו. ברוך אתה הוויה נותן התורה. אמן.
So, it's me, Rebecca. I'm back. Thank you for shining some light on the other. This family story, Sarah and Abraham, they can't get pregnant, and so they enslave a woman, Hagar, to have his child, and she gets pregnant and is abused and runs away. And in the desert, she calls out to God by name, and she's the first one to ever do that. And she says, I know you're up there. I know you see me. So what are you going to do? And a messenger arrives with a message which helps her go back and have the baby, and who she names Ishmael so that she can do the best she can, until Sarah, at 90 years old, does get pregnant, which is the funniest thing that anyone's ever heard, and so they name the baby Laughter, or Yitzhak. And when it's time to wean the baby, they have a party, and at the party, Ishmael is with his little brother, Isaac, and Sarah sees something bad. We don't know what it is, but we know that it triggers her fear, and she tells her husband to send Ishmael and Hagar away, and that is where we pick up in this story. And before we do, I just want to add one more thing. It's about Hagar. It's about how she became black. You're thinking, she's black? She's not. And she is. Okay, so she's you and she's not you. Because she looks like you, but maybe everyone looked a little more like me. She's Egyptian, they tell us, but everyone in Genesis is Mesopotamian. So see, this is why we need more multidimensional sources. Okay, anyway, she is holding blackness for us. She's holding dark skin for us. Because she's holding oppression for us. Because she was enslaved, because she's abused, because she becomes a single mother, because she is called other, because her name literally means the stranger. So do not other her. Hold otherness with her. Let's begin.
Amen. Ve'ashkem Avraham בבוקר, ויקח לחם בחמת מים, ויתן על הגר, שם על שכמה, ואת הילד ושלחיה, ותלך ותתה במדבר בשבה.
It was early in the morning. He gave us a bottle of water and some bread. They said goodbye and good luck. And we started walking into Beersheba, the desert. We looked back at our home, at our friends, at our clothes, at our past, as the heat started to rise around us.
ויכלו המים מן החמת, ותשלח את הילד תחת אחד השיחים, ותלך ותשב לה מן הנגד, הרחק כמתח וקשת, כי אמרה אל במות הילד, ותשב מנגד, ותישא את קולה ותבך.
We walked for what felt like an eternity until the water was gone and we couldn't walk anymore. I left him under a little bush, a tiny patch of shade, my son, so he couldn't hear me, wouldn't hear me crying out, crying to you again, hot and angry. I know you see me. I know you see this. I will not watch him die. Oh, darling. I hear you. I see you. What do you need? We'll find it. We'll get it. They always call when they really need something.
Friends, you've come up this morning, and those of us here who, when it feels like being othered, being the stranger, that resonates. Let's bless this moment in our history and in our pain and in our lives and in our hopes. May we never feel like that again, and make so that others do not either. All the Hagars in our lives, in our hearts. We bless this moment. We bless the story. We bless the opportunity to hear it again anew and help it heal. So on the back page of those, backside of those pages and on the screen, let's say these words together with this Havaya name, ever present now. Baruch atah Havaya Eloheinu ruach haolam asher natan lanu torat emet v'chayei olam nata betochenu Baruch atah Havaya noten haTorah. Amen. I invite you to descend this bima, friends. Shana Tova. May we be more together and less apart. Shana Tova.
So this is the moment. Hagar, she's been abused, she was made a slave, she used to be a princess, that part. She becomes pregnant, maybe against her will. She names the baby the one who God hears. And now she is dying in the desert of thirst on the first day of the new year. All right. She's weeping. But she's not just weeping. She's calling. She is calling out to a source who sees her, who understands that pain. She wants them to survive, yes, but she wants more than that. She wants a future, a beautiful future, which I think she feels she was promised with the birth of her son. When she calls out, who do you think that she's calling to? And what might they say or do? So, let me ask you first. Are there any grandmothers in the house? Yes! Oh my God. Yes, let's hear it for the grandmothers. It's about you. Yes. We're calling in you, your wisdom. Yes. This. Yes. Any great grandmothers? Wait a minute. Oh, and we know you're online with us too. So we see you, we feel you. Raise your hand, and we see you in that chat. So what's something that your grandmother, biological or not, right? This is a big grandness of mother, father, person, an ancestral wisdom. What is a wise word or a piece of advice that you inherited from them? I see some smiles already. Let's take a second to think. What's something that we got from them? Something they used to say, something they used to do. And now I want to hear a few. So I don't know who has how the mics work out there, but we have this ability, yes?
I'm just going to shout it out.
We're going to shout it out. Even better.
An echo.
Who? Say. Plant seeds. Sounds like a grandmother. Yeah, we can snap. So, if you can't do what you love what you do. Simple, elegant. You look like you put on some weight. Who can relate to that one? Yes. Yes. If you didn't hear, you look like you put on some weight. Are you hungry? Yeah. Are you eating well? Say again. When the ball is in your court, play hard. Put your phone or keep your phone in the freezer. I gotta take that one.
If you sprinkle when you tinkle, be a sweetie and wipe the seedy.
Really? That's from your grandma? Wow,
True.
okay.
True.
Good to
All right, I'm
know.
gonna do some hands. Don't be a schmata. Stand up for yourself. Feel these. I'm starting to feel them.
A
them.
rag. Don't
Let
be a
them in.
rag.
Don't be a what?
A rag.
A rag.
Schmata is
A
like,
schmata,
you
yeah,
know, a rag.
yes. Ask your nearest Yiddish, the friendly person. Over here. The greatest friend you can give the greatest present one friend can give as another friend.
Nice.
Beautiful. Just a few more. There was one behind you. No? Some over here.
Over there.
Yes. Be helpful. Be helpful. Yes. Stop whining. Yes, right? We said a powerful source, right? Sometimes a little scary, not always nourishing. Very true. Be helpful. Stop whining. Yes. Call your mother. Hence our theme today.
My grandmother always said to find a man who's sturdy to keep you warm. She was just a little frisky.
Find a man who's sturdy to keep you warm. Yes, I'm going to interpret that all kinds of ways. Yeah. Go ahead. In every way, yeah. If you don't want to play, step off the court.
Oh, play hard.
Yeah.
There's one more over there.
Yes, yes. I won't be here forever, you know. That's a really, really,
Which one is that?
right? Oh, you know.
Oh, no, I'm just, really? Okay.
Right here. I'm dead. It's just as easy to marry someone with money. Okay, just two more. Oh, say again.
Lo Sang Shalom.
Let there be peace and calm down. Oh, that's beautiful. Ooh.
Ooh.
Never leave the house without a book. Ooh, they're in the room, you guys. They're in the room. Yes, one more. Why are you dressed like that? Oh, you young person, thank you
yes,
for
obviously.
thank you for bringing the truth. It's there, right? Yeah, yeah. I only wonder what she'd say. Great, great, great. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you. So we have a full range here. Some deep, some simple and elegant, some somewhat arresting. But this is a source. We just sourced it, right? And there's infinite amounts more. There's a whole bunch that we haven't talked about, that we haven't even accessed. And I'm curious, when do you call on that source, right? With each other or inside of yourself? That source, all of that wisdom, those experiences, that person, those people. When do you call on that? And when don't you? So we heard a little about a time that I did and I didn't in a dark night in the pandemic when I really needed something, a lot of things, people, comfort, food, and overdid it. And some version of my grandmother, Sarah Bela, or Betty, showed up, which was really surprising because I didn't actually know her very well. She did have dementia, and she passed away when I was still pretty young. But we did spend some time together, just being. And I also have my African grandmother, my Gogo Fagutse, who I met only one day of our lives for about an hour in my father's country, then called Swaziland. And we didn't speak the same language. But her presence, sitting on the ground, wrapped in fabric, smiling that we were finally meeting, her presence was that of a great mountain. And I also have my step-grandmother, Betty Thomas, who is a Black American woman whose home in San Bernardino, California was the center, the heartbeat of that family where her children and many of her grandchildren lived. And she smoked and she cursed and she loved watching old tapes of her favorite singers like the Temptations, and she would just call out to anybody who was near to come look and watch with her to see and hear what real music looked and sounded like. Betty Thomas. So all of their wisdom, their presence, even in the briefest amount of time, it lives somewhere. In me? Outside of me? Which makes me think of Amichai. Now that we know her name, now that we know that there was a mother of Abraham, I mean, what does she want us to know? And with my ancestors, I mean, what was she like? With my ancestors, I'm finding out with mine that it's literally never too late to connect. I live because of them, and they live inside of me, and together we create something new, something multidimensional, something outside of space and time, full of possibility. Shall we call in something new?
Yeah. So we're inviting for the second Aliyah today those of us who on this first day are celebrating newness. I got a long list here of folks of you who celebrated with us new homes, new jobs, starting rabbinical school, becoming ordained, getting married, having babies, having love, leaving love, new homes, becoming Jewish. Anything here resonates?
Yes.
If you are celebrating since last Rosh Hashanah, something you are proud of in the newness, this Aliyah is for you. Here, we invite you to rise. At home, ditto. And if you feel like coming up on the bima and kissing that scroll to celebrate all new things and magical, this is your call. Yamdu up to the second Aliyah this day. And somehow we seem to have lost our supersized talit. But that's okay. We're all in this together. She'll show up. Shimmer? Welcome. Amazing. Benjamin is carrying a grandmotherly made. Wow, it is a beautiful. So why don't you hold it up and hug some other people with you? Brand new grandmother. Okay, that's perfect. Cal, we're happy to celebrate your grandmotherhood. And all brand new things. Hey, Oscar, come on up, folks. And if it's really crowded up here, then we'll make it work. There you go, Tara. Welcome, welcome. Hello. All right, we can get crowded. That's okay. New is crowded. Yeah, and everyone else, I'm going to invite you to stay where you are. You are at the mountain, foot of the mountain, middle of the mountain, and we're not going to get in trouble with the fire authorities. Come crowd together. You're part of the story. Come crowd, crowd, crowd. There are a couple more here. Cheat sheets. Be mitzvah kids, whether you just had it or about to, you get priority. Kai, that's you. Okay. Hey, Nat. May as well practice. Hey, Lou. Okay, we are here now. Show us where we can click.
We can click right here.
Double click. Here now. Let's do this together. For all things new. Baruch Havaya Hamvorach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Ata Havaya Eloheinu Ruach HaOlam Asher Bachar Banu Im Kol Ha'amim Venatan Lanu Et Torato Baruch Ata Adonai Noten HaTorah. Amen.
Amen. Vayishma Elohim et kol hana'ar v'yikra malach Elohim el hagar min hashamayim v'yomer la malach hagar al tir'i ki shama Elohim et kol el kol hanar b'asher hu sham.
So let's pick up where we left off. Ishmael is under a bush, fainted. Hagar is wailing, calling out. And then the story goes, God heard the boy weeping. So I'd like to zoom in on that and call in Grandma Betty Thomas. Ishmael. Ishmael. I know you hear me. Ishmael!
Yeah, yep.
How's my grandbaby doing?
I'm okay.
You thirsty?
Yeah.
Here, have some water.
Is it my mom out there trying to get
I'm
water?
source. I got water bottles. I just want some time alone with you. Don't worry, she's fine. Drink.
Did you say you're my...
I'm your grandma.
And your God?
Well, sorta.
Okay. Grandma, I didn't do all that
I know.
stuff that they... But they said that they
I
would...
know.
And then my dad...
I know. So how old are you now?
15.
Wow, 15. You interested in girls yet?
They're okay. I like music, though.
Yeah, you get that from me.
And I'm really into anthropology, too.
Oh, did you say anthropology? Okay. Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah. Like, I know they say things started with my dad and everything, but I've been digging and in these caves and finding these bones and like fossils, which are, you know, obviously like thousands of years before. And I've been attaching them together, and some of them look like us, and some of them don't look like us. And some of them look exactly like us, and they're a little shorter, but they have like longer arms. And I haven't named them all yet, but I did name one Lucy after a girl at school, but whatever. Anyway, and those ones, like her, are deep in this one cave in the desert, and it goes down like really, really steep and really far in what seems like some sort of like campfire pit or burial site. So basically, they must have climbed all the way down there just to bring their friends in there. But like, why would they go through all that if their friend is already dead? Like it's really hot and dry. But they definitely spent a long time down there. And it wouldn't be worth it unless they got some sort of like comfort from being down there. And it must have made them or their friends like feel better. It's kind of wild because we don't even know like who or what they were. Like, we're the only ones that are supposed to believe in something. But it really makes you question like what it means to be human, you know?
Yeah. Wow, yeah, that's good. Okay. Wow, yeah, that's interesting. Well, you're a little bit of a nerd, huh? No, I like that. That's good. I like that. Well, I'm not gonna lie. You know, stuff's gonna get real. And the story of you and Isaac's really just gonna take off from here. And you're gonna get back on your feet and hydrated, you know, and you're gonna start your own tribe. And little Isaac's gonna start his own. And I just want you to know that you can always call me. Anytime, day or night. And I'll help you remember, you know, who you are before the story. And to the side of the story, and above the story, and below the story, and outside of the story, okay? Okay, so that's good. So you can just be.
קומי, שאי את הנער והחזיקי את ידך בו, כי לגוי גדול אשימנו.
Where's my mom? Is she okay?
Oh, yeah, you see her out there? No, she's not crazy. She's talking to one of my messengers, one of my many faces. She's creating your future. See, she's about to see a well and then walk to get you water. And in her footsteps for thousands and thousands of years, all of your descendants will walk dressed in white on a pilgrimage, which they will call the Hajj, after your mother, Hajar.
Okay. That's cool. So when will we see you again? Like, I mean, where do you live?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, I live in the well. And I live in the water. And I live in the mountain. And I live in the sky. And I live in the walking. And I live in your clothes. I live in a yearly ritual. I live in your sight. I live in your laugh. I live in a scarf. I live in a glance. I live in a gesture. I live in a Kleenex. I live in a ring. I live in a song. I live in a dance. I live in the silence. I live in your writing. I am in soup and other food. I'm in your phone. I'm on Instagram.
What's Instagram?
You'll find out later. And keep it in the freezer. I live in an orange on your Seder plate. I live in your memory. I live in your dreams. I live in the sun. I live in the shade. I live in the moon. I live in the caves. I live in whatever lights you up.
Okay, but where do I find you again?
Keep digging.
ויפקח אלוהים את עיניו ותראה באר מים ותלך ותמלא את חמת מים ותשק את הנהר.
I open my eyes. I see the well. I know what to do. I quench my son's thirst. I quench my own. And we walk into the future.
Friends who've come up to celebrate new discoveries, new revelations, coming up, already celebrated. May the well of wellness well up for you, as it did for Yitzchak and for Ishmael, for Hagar and for Sarah, for all of us descendants of Amichai, the mother of Abraham, humans on this grand scale. A blessing for this new day, for all new beginnings and journeys ahead. A kiss in the spot if you rose or if you are at home, and let's share this blessing together. Baruch atah Havaya Eloheinu ach haolam אשר בחתן לנו תורת אמת, וחיי עולם נטע בתוכנו. ברוך אתה הוויה, נותן התורה. אמן. מזל טוב. Shana Tova, I invite you to step down from the mountain. Be congratulated. May we celebrate new things and new revelations.